I'll never forget the day my 6-year-old great-grandson visited last summer. We were sitting on the porch swing, and I reached down to pick up the toy car he'd dropped. As I struggled to stand back up, he looked at me with those innocent eyes and asked, "Grandpa, why are your arms so skinny? They don't look strong anymore." His mother quickly shushed him, but that honest observation hit me hard. Later that evening, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and really looked, truly looked, at how my body had changed. The muscle tone I once took for granted had faded away, replaced by thin, almost fragile limbs that didn't seem to belong. To me, perhaps you've had a similar moment. Maybe it was struggling with a jar lid that used to open easily, or noticing how heavy the groceries feel now, or seeing an old photograph and barely recognizing your own arms and legs. These aren't just inconveniences or vanity concerns. They're warning signs of something happening inside our bodies that we need to address. I'm Dr. Harold Winters. I've been practicing medicine for over 6 decades, and at 91 years old, I still see patients 3 days a week. I specialize in geriatric nutrition and muscle preservation, not just because I studied it, but because I'm living it alongside you. When I graduated from medical school in 1957, we knew very little about how aging affects muscle mass. Now, after treating over 15,000 patients in their golden years and experiencing these changes myself, I understand what's really happening under our skin. What you're experiencing has a name: sarcopenia. It's the progressive loss of muscle mass that happens as we age. But here's what most doctors won't tell you: it's not just getting old. Beginning around age 40, we lose about 1% of our muscle mass each year. By 70, that rate often doubles. That means by 80, many of us have lost 30–40% of the muscle we had in our prime. Think about that: almost half your strength gone. Last month, Martha, an 83-year-old patient of mine, came in after falling in her bathroom. She wasn't injured badly, thankfully, but she said something that broke my heart. "My son wants me to move to assisted living now. He says I can't take care of myself anymore." Her independence was slipping away because her muscles could no longer support her daily activities. Or take James, a 77-year-old former carpenter who built houses for 45 years. His hands that once wielded hammers and saws with precision now struggle to button his own shirt. "I feel useless," he told me, his eyes downcast, "like I'm just a burden to everyone now." These stories might sound familiar, because this muscle loss affects nearly every aspect of our lives. It's why getting up from a chair becomes a calculated effort, why climbing stairs leaves you winded, why lifting your grandchildren becomes something you think twice about. And it's not just about physical limitations. It's about dignity, independence, and joy. But here's what you need to understand: what's happening to your muscles isn't entirely your fault. For decades, we've been given incomplete information about muscle preservation as we age. The standard advice, just stay active or eat more protein, is only part of the picture. There's a crucial missing piece that almost no one is talking about. The truth is, there's a specific vitamin deficiency that accelerates muscle wasting in seniors, and according to recent research, over 80% of Americans over 70 are deficient in it. This deficiency creates a perfect storm in your body where muscles can't maintain themselves properly, no matter how much you exercise or how well you eat otherwise. I'm talking about vitamin D, but not in the way you've probably heard about before. You see, most people think of vitamin D as just the bone vitamin or the sunshine vitamin, but recent research has revealed it plays a fundamental role in muscle function and preservation that we never fully understood until now. When your vitamin D levels fall below optimal levels, several critical processes break down. First, the special cells that rebuild and repair muscle tissue, called myoblasts, can't properly activate. Second, the process of protein synthesis, how your body turns the protein you eat into actual muscle tissue, becomes inefficient. And third, inflammation increases throughout your body, which actively breaks down existing muscle. It's like trying to build a brick wall. When someone keeps stealing your bricks, your mortar won't stick, and the foundation is crumbling. No wonder staying strong feels impossible. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I already take a multivitamin, or my doctor checked my levels years ago. But here's the shocking truth. The standard blood test reference ranges for normal vitamin D are based primarily on bone health, not muscle preservation. And those little multivitamins, they typically contain just 400 IU of vitamin D, a fraction of what seniors need for muscle maintenance. But I have good news. Over the past 15 years, I've developed a simple 4-step protocol that has helped hundreds of my elderly patients restore their vitamin D levels, specifically for muscle preservation. Better yet, it's something you can do at home, costs very little, and many of my patients report feeling the difference in as little as 7 days. Before I share this protocol with you, I want to be clear. This isn't about becoming a bodybuilder or looking like you did at 30. This is about maintaining the strength you need for an independent, dignified life. It's about being able to play with your grandchildren without fear of falling. It's about carrying your own groceries, getting up from the floor if you need to, and moving through your home with confidence. In just a moment, I'm going to walk you through each step of this muscle-preserving protocol. I'll explain exactly how much vitamin D you need, the specific form that works best for seniors, the crucial companion nutrients that make it work properly, and the simple timing strategy that maximizes absorption. I'll also share some special modifications for those with limited mobility or sensitivity to supplements. But first, let me assure you of something important. It's not too late. I've seen remarkable improvements in patients well into their 90s. Your body still remembers how to build and maintain muscle tissue. It just needs the right tools to do the job. Now let's get into the step-by-step protocol that can help restore your muscle strength and function. Step 1. Optimize your vitamin D intake. The first and most critical step is getting the right amount of vitamin D in the right form. For seniors specifically concerned with muscle preservation, research indicates that the optimal range is between 2,000 and 4,000 IU daily. This is significantly higher than what's in most multivitamins, but still well within safe limits. The form matters tremendously. Look specifically for vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, not vitamin D2, ergocalciferol. D3 is the form your body naturally produces when exposed to sunlight, and studies show it raises blood levels 87% more effectively than D2, especially in seniors. Here's an elderly-friendly hack that many of my patients appreciate. If you have trouble swallowing pills, look for vitamin D3 in liquid form with a dropper. Just 2 drops under your tongue daily is all you need, and there's no pill to swallow. You can find these at most pharmacies for about $15, and a bottle typically lasts 2 to 3 months. Why this works? Vitamin D acts like a master key that unlocks your muscle cells' ability to use protein efficiently. It also activates special stem cells in your muscles that repair damage and maintain strength. Without adequate vitamin D, these processes simply can't function properly, no matter how well you eat or exercise. Step 2. Add the critical cofactors. This step is absolutely essential. Yet it's the one most people miss. Vitamin D doesn't work alone. It needs partner nutrients to function properly in your muscles. Think of it like a key that needs the right lock and door frame to work. The most important cofactors are magnesium and vitamin K2. Magnesium activates the enzymes that metabolize vitamin D, while K2 ensures the calcium that vitamin D helps you absorb gets directed to your bones rather than your arteries. For seniors, I recommend 100-200 ml of magnesium glycinate daily. This form is gentlest on sensitive stomachs, and 100 ml Cg of vitamin K2 in the MK7 form. Both can be found at any pharmacy or health food store. Here's a special elderly hack. If you have trouble keeping track of multiple supplements, look for a vitamin D complex that includes D3, K2, and magnesium in one capsule. This simplifies your routine and ensures you're getting all 3 nutrients in the right ratios. Why this works? Studies show that magnesium deficiency can make vitamin D supplementation up to 30% less effective for muscle function. Meanwhile, K2 ensures that calcium goes to strengthen your bones rather than causing problems in soft tissues. Together, these nutrients create the perfect environment for muscle preservation. Step 3. Implement the Sunshine Protein Strategy. This step combines two powerful approaches that amplify each other's effects. First, get 15-20 minutes of direct sunlight on your arms and legs without sunscreen 3 times a week. Even for seniors, your skin still retains some ability to produce vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, though it's about 70% less efficient than when you were younger. Second, consume 20-30 grams of protein within 1 hour after your sunlight exposure. This precise timing creates a synergistic effect that enhances muscle protein synthesis far more than either strategy alone. Don't worry if you can't tolerate large amounts of meat or dairy. Try these senior-friendly protein sources that are easy to digest. A smoothie made with 1 cup Greek yogurt and berries, 24g protein. 2 scrambled eggs with a slice of toast, 16g protein. A bowl of cottage cheese with fruit, 28g protein. Scoop of plant-based protein powder in almond milk, 20-25g protein. Here's a helpful elderly hack. If chewing protein sources is difficult, keep individual bottles of ready-to-drink protein shakes in your refrigerator. They typically provide 20-30 grams of protein and can be consumed without preparation. Why this works? Sunlight exposure triggers specialized vitamin D receptors in your muscle tissue to become more receptive to protein. Research shows that protein consumed after sunlight exposure is utilized up to 25% more efficiently for muscle maintenance, especially in seniors. Step 4. Activate your muscles. Daily with the 3-minute method, the final step activates the cellular pathways that help your muscles utilize vitamin D effectively. I've developed what I call the 3-minute method, a series of gentle movements that stimulate muscle preservation without causing pain or requiring special equipment. Perform these 3 movements daily, ideally in the morning. First, the chair stand. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Simply stand up and sit back down 5 or 10 times at a comfortable pace. If needed, use the armrests for support. Second, the kitchen counter push. Stand facing your kitchen counter, place your hands on the edge, and lean forward. Push yourself back to standing position 10 to 12 times. Third, the doorway stretch. Stand in a doorway with your arms raised to shoulder height, elbows bent. Place your palms against the doorframe and gently lean forward until you feel a stretch across your chest. Hold for 30 seconds, breathing deeply. Here's a special elderly hack. If balance is a concern, place a sturdy chair behind you during these exercises. This creates a safety net and provides peace of mind. Why this works? These gentle movements stimulate what scientists call mechanoreceptors in your muscles, specialized sensors that trigger cellular repair and rebuilding. When combined with optimal vitamin D levels, these simple movements signal your body to preserve muscle tissue rather than break it down. Now, I'd like to share how this protocol has changed lives. Remember, these aren't just statistics. They're real people just like you and me. Eleanor was 84 when she first came to see me. A widow for 12 years, she lived alone and treasured her independence. But a series of falls had left her fearful of moving around her own home. Her daughter was pushing her to move to assisted living, which devastated Eleanor. "I'm not ready to give up my home," she told me, tears in her eyes. "But I'm scared I'll fall again and no one will find me." When we tested her vitamin D levels, they were at 18 ng/ml, dangerously low, especially for muscle function. She began my protocol, and within 3 weeks, she noticed she could get out of her bathtub more easily. After 3 months, she could once again carry her laundry basket down to the basement and back up. "My daughter came over last week," Eleanor told me at her 6-month follow-up, "and she said she's not worried about me anymore. I move differently now, more confident. I'm staying in my home." Then there's Robert, a 79-year-old former high school science teacher. Robert's greatest joy was taking his grandchildren fishing at the local pond. But over the past 2 years, he'd stopped going because he couldn't carry the tackle box and feared losing his balance on the uneven ground. "I feel like I'm disappearing from their lives," he confided during his appointment. "My grandson asked why we don't go fishing anymore, and I made up an excuse about the fish not biting. The truth was too embarrassing. Robert's vitamin D level was 22 nung ml, better than Eleanor's, but still far too low for muscle preservation. He followed the protocol diligently, and after just 2 months, he felt strong enough to try a short fishing trip again. "Last weekend, I took my grandson to the pond," he told me, his voice thick with emotion. "We stayed for 3 hours and I carried everything myself. When we were packing up to leave, he said, 'I'm glad the fish are biting again, Grandpa.' That moment alone was worth everything." Perhaps the most inspiring story is Mildred's. At 92, she had resigned herself to a life of dependency. Her muscle loss was so severe that she needed help with basic activities like dressing and bathing. "I feel like a child again, but not in her good way," she said during our first meeting. "Having my daughter help me put on my undergarments, it takes away my dignity." Mildred's vitamin D level was just 11 ml, among the lowest I'd ever seen. We started her on a modified version of the protocol, adjusted for her advanced age and fragility. The progress was slower, but by month 4, she could dress herself again. By month 6, she needed help only with buttons and zippers. "I feel like myself again," she told me. "Not the young woman I once was, of course, but a person with some control over my own body. That makes all the difference in how I face each day." These stories remind us of something powerful. Your body still remembers how to be strong. Even after decades of decline, your muscles retain the ability to respond and rebuild when given the right tools. You haven't lost that capacity. It's just been dormant, waiting for the proper support. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want to leave you with this thought. Aging with dignity doesn't mean aging without challenges. It means facing those challenges with the best knowledge and tools available. The muscle loss you've experienced isn't your fault. For too long, we've been told it's just inevitable, just part of getting older. But now you know differently. You understand the critical role vitamin D plays in maintaining your muscle mass, and you have a specific, actionable plan to address it. I encourage you to begin this protocol today. Not next week or next month. Today. Your body has been waiting for these nutrients, this stimulation, this care. Give yourself the gift of taking this first step toward reclaiming your strength and independence. Start with just one piece of the protocol if that feels manageable. Order your vitamin D3 supplement. Spend 15 minutes in the sunshine. Try the chair stand exercise once today. In 1 week, you may notice small changes. Getting up from a chair with a little less effort, carrying a glass of water with more stability. In 1 month, activities that have become challenging may start feeling natural again. And in 3 months, you might just surprise yourself with what your body can do. Remember, this journey isn't about turning back the clock to your youth. It's about making the most of where you are right now, honoring the body that has carried you through all these decades, and giving it what it needs to serve you well in the years ahead. If this information has been valuable to you, please consider sharing it with other seniors in your life. Too many of our peers are suffering needlessly, watching their independence slip away when simple solutions exist. A simple share of this video could change someone's life. Thank you for your time and attention today. From one senior to another, I wish you strength, dignity, and joy in all the days ahead. Until next time, this is Dr. Harold Winters, reminding you that it's never too late to care for the body you call home.